My name's Ashley. Today's topic is you don't need rock bottom to quit addiction. For those who are new to the channel, my name's Ashley Bloxham. I'm a therapist. I specialise in childhood and trauma, and I'm also an addictions counsellor. I've overcame addiction, which I think qualifies as the most to be taught about it. I know what it's like to have loved ones, and I've studied it right the way up to PhD level. So yeah, today's topic is around you don't need to hit rock bottom to quit. I think one of the things that can be a huge motivator, we've hit rock bottom, we've got no choice. But actually, instead of hitting rock bottom, what we can do is create the right conditions to quit. And that is making sure that our internal system is regulated. So I talk about all the time, practicing regulation reps, learning how to calm yourself, learning how to manage anxiety, stress in a way that's helpful to you and doesn't destabilize you. And then the other side of that, we've got our environment, getting rid of external stressors where possible. So that looks like taking stock of, are you taking on too much? Is there really unhelpful relationships in your life? How is your house like really unmanageable? Have you got too many things on your plate? So it's really important that you learn how to just look at your outside so you can regulate your external environment and regulate your internal environment so it becomes easier. Often we feel like we've just got to keep getting to rock bottom, but we don't. We need to realise that actually maybe our life is a bit rock bottom now, and if we can try and flip that around so it doesn't feel like rock bottom, recovery will be easier. I saw this really great quote which said that it said addiction is if you want to win, you'll find any excuse to win. If you want to fail at it, you'll find any excuse to fail. And I felt like that was quite right. I thought, yeah, that is how addiction recovery works if you're gunning for it. But I also thought, although that's great, it does encapsulate it, because every time I've stopped an addiction, I have been really gunning for it and no excuse has held us down. I also feel like I haven't been flooded with a million and one excuses, aka in my head I'm like, no, we're gonna win, and then externally is set up for me to win as well. Hi David, how you doing? My son is here, he's off school again. He's had a bug like for nearly a week, so I might have to leave early. But yeah, I just think it's really important that we don't just wait for life to get so shit that we think, okay, let's just make our life get better so that we want to step into a better life. And I think that can be just as helpful as reaching rock bottom. And I think also by deciding, okay, I'm going to win at addiction recovery, so I'm going to reframe my environment, I'm going to work on my positive self-talk, I'm going to regulate my nervous system, you start to get in this win mindset. And if you're in a winner's mindset, you're less likely to make excuses. You're going to just keep going for it. Hi Sujit, how you doing? If anyone's got any questions around addiction or mental health, do ask. So yeah, I think that's just really important. Mommy. Yeah. I know, that's my son. Honestly, it's been a nightmare trying to do this whilst parenting. I'm not gonna lie, he streaked the other day, which was the worst case scenario. Sujit is saying, sleep, are you sleepy? What time is it where you are? I've not long got up. Hi Cody, how are you doing? What's going? What do you mean what's going? Sujit. Oh, thanks to the likes whoever's given us them. Yeah, so talking about this idea of you will find excuses if you want to stop, and you'll find reasons to win if you want to win at addiction recovery. Like, has anybody actually stopped addiction recovery? Because I'm sure when that happens, like, the universe gives you a million and one reasons why you should stop. I'm laughing, it's not actually funny, but so Cody's, what if an addiction of my past life, which was war, if it's an addiction of your past life, so do you mean like, did you used to be like in the military, or do you mean like past lives as in like spiritual realm? Just to clear that, two very different things. Thank you, Sujit. 2 combat deployments to Afghanistan. Yeah, I wasn't. I was thinking, I'm sure this isn't a past life regression we're talking about, like spiritual woo-woo, but just check. Yeah, so look, I think if you've been Afghan, like that's a really difficult tour. I don't know how that was for you, but I think one of the things with being a veteran, because I used to work with veterans in a charity, is the problem is like when you're going in, especially if you're signing up when you're younger before your brain's developed, which most people do. Most people are signing up like 17, 18 that I used to see, to be honest with you. But when you're signing up early, you're changing your brain. So if you think about it, like whatever we're putting into our brains is how we're going to respond to the world. So it's like neuroplasticity. And when you think about veterans, it's a very particular way of being, which is like a type of neuroplasticity, which is great for going Afghan. It's great for being on tour, but it's not so great for having to deal with the aftermath of that. And I think that's one of the biggest barriers that a lot of veterans are facing. So especially because your brain's developing whilst being trained to like to be a lethal weapon. So it's not the yeah, it's just really difficult. It's a really difficult process, but it's about rewiring your brain, I would say, Cody. And like, if you want a one-to-one, we can talk about this, because I recognise that I'm just being very like, just making little loose comments here, which probably isn't that helpful to you. But we can chat about it properly if you want. Yeah, you was on your second combat deployment before you were 22. Like, your brain isn't even rewired until you like, isn't wired properly until you're 25 to 27, but it's also wiring up rapidly when you're in your teenage years. So I assume you joined really early if you're on your second deployment. And I think like it's about thinking, okay, my brain just isn't suited for Civvy Street. So like, just as much as it's been rewired, like wired up for that, it's like, right, how am I going to rewire it? Which is like I say, I can't give you like a full map of stuff, because I'm sure there's a lot more complex than that. Also, I don't know if there's a PTSD involved, etc. So which is like all different parts. It's really tough though. I used to work with veterans. It was really difficult. Yeah, 35. Yeah, and the thing is, Cody, as well, like if there's been some kind of PTSD as well on top of that, but you can do it. Like my brain's been wired up for fight or flight because of like a lot of abuse that I've experienced. And the thing is, like, you can change it. So I was just in constant fight or flight, PTSD, really struggling to just like be in life, and just massively addicted to like just being out of my mind, like, or I would say dampening my mind was a better way to describe it. And I've managed to rewire my brain. It's been a slow but steady thing, but you can do it, Cody. My man's saying, where are you from? I'm from Newcastle in England. So Cody's saying, but I get it, yeah. It's pretty fucking tough. It is. I feel like there's a lot of charities for veterans, but I feel like when you actually look at the support that you get from the government, it's pretty shoddy compared to what it's supposed to be as well. Shit. The Solitude Soul is saying, ironically, he left military life because he was very sensitive. He wrote letters to a young poet, which, I think I've missed the start of that. Right. Solitude is saying, Austrian poet Maria Reich praised military life as training the self to become more aware and paying more attention to the tiny details. Ironically, he left in the military because he was very sensitive. He wrote letters to a young poet, which for me was a great piece of writing by somebody who is deeply emotional. I love that. And I agree with that. It's like, you're saying it's training you to become self-aware. It's like, in effect, training you to be hypervigilant, which is really necessary. But like being in a constant state of hypervigilance, like in Civvy Street, isn't necessary. It's the opposite, and it's really similar to like PTSD, where you just constantly like have to be on the ball, and that's like just constantly pumping like adrenaline and cortisol around your body. I know you said like an addiction from your old life, like that is like, it's like high on life, literally, like the chemicals that you're producing. Cody, I miss Tracing the Dragon. Yeah. I mean, I imagine, so was that something that helped you when you came out of the military then? Namro, do you know ant breathing exercise or any? I thought that was a type of breathing exercise, ant breathing. I was thinking, I've not heard of that before. Do you know any breathing exercises to help anxiety? Yeah. One of the best ones I think you can do, well, I've had a lot of people say this, and there's a lot of research around this. I haven't tried it myself. People talk about the Wim Hof method. So I would go check that out, because like I keep meaning to myself, so I can't say I've tried and tested it, but a lot of people, including Andrew Huberman, who is very reliable sources, that's really good. So try the Wim Hof method. But just a general breathing. So if you do a double intake, like a double in breath, like short and fast, and then breathe out long. So it's like, and you'll notice babies do this. So like when babies are falling asleep, they do like a little double in breath and like a long out breath when they've been crying. So that's how babies naturally regulate themselves. So what you're doing is you're breathing out longer is the main key thing with any breathing exercise. If you can breathe out longer than you're breathing in, because if you think about anxiety, what's happening is it's a series of events going on in your body to prepare you for fight, flight, freeze, fawn. To make you quicker and stronger and faster, basically. And one of those things is shallow breaths. So you'll notice when people start hyperventilating, they start going like that, and they're breathing in loads, but they're not breathing out loads. And if you think of that, like breathing in loads of oxygen to get to your muscles, to get to your lungs, to make your brain work faster. So you're breathing in loads of lungs to loads of oxygen to fight or flight. That's your body's accelerator. So hit your body's brakes by breathing out more. And like I say, that double intake first, like a baby, and then long out breath. Tommy, Mummy said she's working, sweetheart. You're gonna have to wait. No, you're gonna have to wait. I'm so sorry, guys. My son is off school with a bug. Sweet Pea, I'll be down in 5 minutes.
Can you bring the quilt down?
Hi, Vinyl Productions. Which mod is this? Because I can see you. Oh no, I thought it was a mod. You're just getting your messages retracted. Maybe he's a troll more than a mod. Cody. You miss, Cody's saying, I miss chasing the dragon before it becomes a drug that you fend for. Yeah. It's serving a purpose. Like, addiction rates are much higher with with people who've been in the forces, and there's a reason for that, Cody, you know. But yeah, then it just becomes another problem layered on top of a problem. It's the same, like, obviously I've spoke saying that I've got PTSD, like addiction's much higher with PTSD, but then it helps the problem on a nervous system level, but then it adds a whole new problem, and then you've just got like 2 fuck off problems. Or maybe more than 2, like, as we really don't always just get one addiction. A sprinkle of other fucking problems on top of that. So Solitude Soul is saying being in a state of hypervigilance, especially if it's inside a childhood trauma, feels like being inside a painful trap. It does. You always feel like you're forced to map and plan things in a paranoid way. Yeah, it's just overthinking, isn't it? And it's like, it's really difficult. And like, I've got ADHD, so like ADHD, if you look at like, if you look at Gabor Mate's take on it, which like I do believe him, it makes sense when you look at brain scans. ADHD is just your brain developing in a state of hypervigilance, and it's exhausting. It really is exhausting. And it's exhausting having all those, like, that cocktail of neurochemicals getting pumped around your body so that you can be hypervigilant. My man, how old are you? I get the vibe you're prettier than most your age. Oh, thank you, my man. I'm 36. I'm nearly 37. Am I 37 or nearly 30? Yeah, I'm nearly 37. I think I'm nearly 37 or nearly 38. It's because I've been mentally preparing myself for being nearly 37. So, like, I've started to believe I am 37, so now I'm questioning, am I nearly 38? Chris Johnson is saying the Wim Hof method really works wonders. Yeah, there's a lot of research that backs it. Like I say, my main man, Andrew Huberman, backs it, so that's good enough for me. Ideal's going to an addiction specialist tomorrow. My usage will blow his mind. I mean, I don't think, as somebody who's worked in addictions, I don't think there's ever been a usage which has blown my mind. There's been, and I don't mean not to downplay what you're doing, but I'm just trying to say there's a lot of people who use a lot. I mean, God, my best mate was spending like 2-3 grand on crack a day. He was also like dealing and getting himself into a lot of bother to support that habit, but yeah, but ideals, the main thing is, don't, when you go in, like, yeah, it might be mind-blowing the amount that you're using, but it's all the same methods for addiction recovery, and the fact you're going is a min step that shows you're ready. So I wish you a lot of luck. My man, 27, 28, I fucking wish, well, actually I don't wish, I'm done with my 20s. The flawed is. They were fun to begin with, and absolutely flawed is. Scarfulia, how you doing? Nice to see you. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Cody, I'm fine. I'm good. I do have PTSD and TBI. Other than that, I'm fine, or at least I tell myself that. Just got to, haven't you? Just fake it till you make it, Cody. I'm doing the same over here. It does help. I think telling yourself you're fine is a bit better than telling yourself you're fucked. One feels a little bit motivating to continue acting in alignment with fine. One, you're just like, fucking hell. Right, Fally, Cody Smith, are you a YouTuber operator? Did you bring red paracord or blue paracord for the rescue mission of the president? I don't know what you're talking about, Fally. Maybe Cody does. Tasman, 1 year clean off 20 year methamphetamine addiction. It really works. I did it. Oh, is that for the Wim Hof method? Were you the person who said the Wim Hof? I'm trying to find out. I feel like you are. Chris Johnson. I've lost my place now. Sorry, guys. Oh, no, it wasn't. Tasmani, what did you do? So you said it really works. I didn't see what you said really works. Tasman, will you let me know? Child first, we will wait. Oh, yeah, he's all right. He's just wanting to get me attention. He's like this when I'm doing the washing up. He's been unwell, but he's like his mum. He's fucking nails. Like, he's been thrown up and he's had diarrhea, but in between he's just like cracking on. He gets that from me, which I'm just, don't give him mercy. When he's hurts himself, he's unwell, I'm like, get up. Like, literally, like, life's gonna hurt you harder than having the shits. Crack on. Like, obviously give him cuddles and that, but yeah, he's all right. John is saying good positive energy watching you. Thank you. Do you still smoke cigarettes, Oliver? I have quit vaping. What day am I on? I think I'm on, I don't know what day I'm on. I think it's a week yesterday, maybe. Or was it a Thursday? I don't know. About a week. I've been going out my fucking mind. It is so painful. Honestly, I've really struggled with quitting. Well, I quit smoking cigarettes actually years ago, but I've been vaping for 4 years. I've quit that. It has been tough. Do you know what it is though? As much as it's been tough, like, there's so many times I've been having cravings, been reminding us when I quit my drug addiction. I've really, when I talk about like learning to regulate your nervous system and take, like, observe your thoughts, like helping with cravings, it really does help. Like, it's been shit and I've had everything thrown at us this last couple of weeks to quit, like to start vaping, and I've just been like, no, just kind of observing the chaos inside. It has worked. Annie's saying be a good mom. I'm a fucking tremendous mom. I don't think a YouTuber is gonna like change my view on that. Fucking hell. I've had to like uproot my whole life, quit addiction to be a mom. Like, yeah, I think I'm doing all right. Right, that's a pretty damn big cup. Yeah, I know it's massive, isn't it? But I love it because it's glass, but it might as well be smaller. I only have about 3 sips in these lives, so busy nattering. Do you know a cocktail? It's called Wood Nut and Cider. No, I don't know that, Amsterdam. Please tell me more. Right, love what you're doing here. Keep it up, thank you. Matthew, I was on fentanyl. I was a fentanyl addict for almost 10 years, and I ran out of veins to the point where I shot up in the vein and up in my pecker. Pecker's that nose. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine what it's like getting off fentanyl, Matthew. Like, I think it'd be very naive of us to try and attempt that. Like, obviously, I work in addictions. I've overcame a ketamine addiction, but yeah, I can see why you would be in that situation, because addiction's fucking brutal. But yeah, hard drugs. I'm really glad that you've managed to stop, Matthew. Have you got any tips for anybody who's listening? Amy's saying you pretend to be a good mum, but you were the witch. I do consider myself a little bit witchy, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit spooky. I've got good spidey senses. I have this addiction. It's called Wood Nuts and Cider. I've never heard of that. Right. So that Annie, you're like the man police here, aren't you? Have a child to take care for, asked for your help. He opened the door and said, Mummy, and I said, what? And he was like, I miss my daddy. Like, he's fine, he's watching TV. Child. Oh God. Right. Right, Chris is saying, I'm scared to come off the drink. I've had more than enough chances, about 5 or 6. Chris, you want a one-to-one? The thing I will say, I've got a backlog because my son has been unwell and I've been going through it this week. So I've emails, I've made a list of things that are important and a list of things which aren't, and email replying has been lower on the list. But send us an email. I will get back to you some point this week if you want a one-to-one. What I'll say is, Chris, and I've probably told you this already because I know you've been on my live before, but just to make sure, I've said it when you've been on the live, is like with alcohol, it's really important that you reduce down, don't just stop. But what I would say, Chris, like, it is scary stopping an addiction. It is really fucking scary, and I know exactly that fear. And it's almost like you're stuck between 2 fears, because you've got the fear of, like, if I stay in this, like, that's fucking scary, and if I leave the addiction, that's also scary. But I will tell you, one thing that you're scared of is going down a route of, like, where you know where it's going. Like, it's mapped out for you. Like, you don't know what the whats and the wheres and the whys, but you know it's just going to keep getting worse. Or you've got the other direction is where it's scary, but it's going to get better. And what I would do is I would start creating, like, if you think of it like 2 realities you've got sitting in front of you at a crossroads. You've got this reality, which you're already on that path, or you've got this new reality. And what I would do is say, start creating a life which is in alignment with this reality, and it'll start to feel less scary. Because, just for an example, doing things like, if you were gonna take up, so this is just an example, I don't know for you, but say you start taking up a sport that you really enjoy. That's one of the things in this life. Like, it's not just a sport, there's lots of factors. But for example, you start doing a sport, you really enjoy it, you'll start to think, like, actually, I know that I would enhance my performance if I stopped drinking and I cut down drinking slowly. Or, like, maybe you start getting, like, put yourself out there and reconnecting with friends who, you know, aren't in an addiction, and like, actually, I would have more fun if I was not out of my mind here, so I could spend more time with these friendships and just different things. Like, it's a whole lot of stuff in this life, but you can start chipping away at creating this new life before you even take away the addiction, and just think harm reduction in that time. But do a one-to-one with us, Chris. Vino is saying 1%. We are happy. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Headed to the UK in May. Love this channel. David Spears. When are you going to May? Start getting a little bit less fucking freezing in May. So that I'd say it's definitely a better time to come. What are you coming to the UK for? Matthew said exercise makes it a lot easier to stay clean. Yeah, and it's progress as well. It does make it a lot easier, but when you're failing at something, and I don't mean failing at, like, in a bad way, but like you feel like you're failing. You're like Chris has highlighted there, like I feel like I keep having chances, and then you feel like you're failing at stopping. If you start doing something where you're winning, it flips the script in your narrative. Like shaming ourselves out of addiction does not work. That only works if we hit rock bottom. And like ideally we don't hit rock bottom. And even then, when we shame ourselves out of addiction, it's really hard to maintain recovery. So like instead of shaming yourself out of addiction, start like creating a life that you're proud of, and start like praising yourself out of addiction with genuine wins in your life, and you can create opportunities to win at life. And if you do that before you stop the addiction, that's fine. If you do it when you stop your addiction, that's also fine. Like you don't have to stop now if you're not ready. The main thing is that you start your recovery journey. Because if you frame creating a life that is in alignment with recovery as recovery, you're more likely to do the recovery. If you just sit there and say like I'm stuck and I'm scared, then you're not in the mindset of stopping. Right, John, fasting is what I did, weights training 48 now, plus OK 35 on AI app. Know what I mean? So yeah, so I know somebody who water fasted. They were talking about it. So they stopped the recovery. Usually it takes about 3 weeks before your brain starts rewiring. They water fasted in the first few days, and they said that they sped through that in a few days. The brain was already feeling better. So yeah, fasting. I haven't looked into the research on that. But yeah, definitely. And weights training, like again, winning. Also, you're learning to regulate your nervous system. So there was somebody I was speaking to the other day, which told us this really cool research, which I've not heard of. And it was basically saying that that you can map when someone relapses from the day before their heart rate increases, which shows that if you're under stress, you're more likely to relapse. And like that's mapped in biometrics. So learning to regulate yourself, and like you'll be able to control stress, which means you're not going to be putting yourself in the firing line for relapse as well. And things like fasting, weight training, sport, cold showers, all that stuff helps you to do that. And Paul saying, am I Irish? No, I'm not. I might have some Irish in us. My dad was adopted and my nana was adopted, so I don't really know much of my family tree, but no, I'm from Newcastle. Make sure you take B12 if you've really drank a lot so you don't have seizures. I almost died when I quit drinking. Yeah, it's really important. Alcohol is really important that we lean into services. I know that some people might be sat there thinking like, I don't want to for whatever reason. Like I was that person, I was really scared, but I ended up leaning into services and it wasn't as bad as I thought. When I say it wasn't as bad as I thought, like my fears didn't come true with services. Actually, they were a lot better at managing it, helping us with my addiction recovery than the people who I thought would be. But at the very least, if you are one of those people, please use AI or something to help you map out how to do this safely. The other thing is, yeah, there's even if you, so we're talking to Chris Johnson about how you don't necessarily need to stop the addiction right now. So what you can do is if that is the thing, if you're like, right, I'm not ready, but I'm gonna do other things in alignment with my recovery, and that's going to be a goal, maybe you set an end date. The other thing you can do is support yourself. So with alcohol, there's I don't know if it's vitamin B12, Adrian, but I know my best friend had tablets which you have to support your organs, so you can do that. So think harm reduction, also like start in line with that life, start looking after your physical health. But yeah, B12. Squirt Award, talk like acting cool like that. I don't know. I don't think I don't act anything. I think that's a big thing in addiction recovery. So I've got to admit, like I used to mask so much. I used to try and be something I'm not. One of the really helpful things for me for addiction recovery was like dropping all pretense and just being unapologetically myself. That is really helpful as well, because I think like when you're in addiction, you kind of start to I don't know, I just think you become someone you're not. So trying to get back to who you are and do it unapologetically is really helpful. It's so liberating. Started running to replace the walk to the shop for booze in the evening, training for marathon too this morning. The sports thing works for sure. Yeah, Chris, keep doing stuff like that. I think you're putting pressure on yourself that like you're shaming yourself for like not being where you need to be. Like that's meant what you're doing. So then think, right, I'm doing that. What else can I do in alignment with that life? Keep stacking on top of it. Like keep making your life so fucking amazing that the drink is you get to the point where you're like this actually needs to go, and it'll like, yeah, you're doing amazing. Like that is exactly the type of thing you need to be doing, Chris. So I think maybe it's shifting your mindset to like when you're saying like, oh, I'm scared to stop, don't think about when you're scared to stop. Keep making it so that like you're scared to stay in addiction. Right, I'm gonna, let's see what else. Ooh, Rockefeller, it's funny, it took me getting stabbed in my lower back last February and be a year on the 7th. It took for me to stop injecting, stop chasing the high, I guess, rock bottom, but sometimes, yeah, some people it is rock bottom. For me, I just started working on myself a lot because I was like a therapist. So for me, it was more, I thought I don't want to get to rock bottom, but I'm a mom. And I was like, I don't want that for my son because I know the impact. So maybe that was a rock bottom for me, like this, being a new mom in addiction. Everyone's got the different limits, haven't they? But also I was just like, I know where this is going, and I know that this is going to be trauma that my son's going to have to like deal with, generational trauma, if I don't stop now. So that was my rock bottom. By the way though, you've just said the 7th of February. I've just realised I'm 4 years clean tomorrow. It's February, isn't it? Is it the 2nd? Yeah, I think it's the 2nd. If it is, I'll be 4 years clean tomorrow. I've just realised. Right. Chris is saying get you. Good. Yeah, just keep bigging yourself up, Chris. Like it is fucking scary. It is fucking scary. And like I don't envy you where you're at, but like where you're going, and it sounds like you're putting the work in, like running to the shop for your booze. That is immense. Doing stuff like that is the mindset of winning at this. And if you keep anything that you keep, any mindset you keep pouring into is going to be the mindset that wins. You're going to be creating new neuroplasticity. Like I'm a winner, not I'm stuck. Ooh, Rockefeller says meant to find comfort at rock bottom. I think you just start quietly accepting your fate, don't you? Unfortunately. David, just travel Edinburgh. Oh, going travelling. Oh, I love that. I'm happy to see for me, when I went travelling around Europe. Like the UK wouldn't be where I'd go, but I suppose if you're not from here. Oh, you're rowing. I've just seen you rowing. Okay, yeah, there's places which are good for rowing, definitely. Yeah, maybe that's going to be a different experience. I thought you just meant like hopping on the trains and going to see some of the shitholes in the UK. Fasting and prayer. Yeah, we've had a couple of people saying fasting works. And look at the neuroscience of fasting and like the biology. It's really good for your body. It's like it's a kickstart in your body. It's really good for you. I will say though, so I was doing fasting and I've got bipolar, and it was triggering like psychotic episodes. So like I've got to be careful with my fasting. So if you've got some kind of disorder, I would talk to like a healthcare professional about it. But I'll have to do like a fast window instead of full on fasting. But yeah, it's really interesting fasting when you look into it. Like I found it so fascinating, and there's a lot of research around it with addiction, although I haven't read that research. I was told that by another therapist who actually, yeah, the other week. So hello Tommy, can you give us another 10 minutes? Right, David, staying off the alcohol is easy when you work and it's Friday evening and the weekend, which are the hard days. Yeah, so it sounds like a habit and also like habitual, but also it sounds, yeah, maybe it's about thinking, okay, what can I do instead? What can I do instead of that, David? My man, I've been fasting off. I will say as well though, sorry, going back to David, it's going back to the habit thing. It's about retraining. Like, it is really hard to strip a habit, but it's about retraining your brain of, like, your brain associates Friday with doing that. So it's about, okay, associate Friday with doing this instead. And it's really uncomfortable, but anything that you push through and you work at, you will be able to retrain your brain. Irish people sound like they're mumbling. The more I try to understand what you're saying, the more mumbly it gets. I'm not Irish. So Irish and Geordies. Irish people from Newcastle sound like they're mumbling. It probably doesn't help that I've got a cold as well. A bit bunged up over here. But yeah. It sounds great to you, but with someone, the English is second language, it sounds like mumbling. I can imagine it does. That's what I feel like when I'm listening to someone from Glasgow. Like, oh, what did you just say? Can you not get subtitles? If all else fails. Adrian's, is it Aderon? I think I'm saying your thing. I'm just going to call you Enlightenment. I tried so hard to fit in with others as a kid. That's what got me into drinking and drugs. To hell with fitting in with losers. Yeah, I mean, I'm neurospicy, so I think I really was masking and trying to fit in with people. And let's be real, I never fit in. Like, I stood on like Thawsome, a sore thumb, like things like that. I sort of like stood out like a sore thumb, and it was just futile. It was just a waste of time and energy. So the less I gave a fuck and tried to fit in, the better. But yeah, we all are trying to fit in, aren't we? And I think what I've done is, instead of trying to fit in with a tribe, I've just found a tribe that like I can just be myself with. Much easier. Right, user, don't know if it is, somebody, right, we've got some divvy saying, Charles saying, go to rehab, you losers. It's actually really hard to get into rehab, actually. Not as simple as that, but also, like, yeah. I think when you've been through something, it'll be a bit easier to comment on, but, like, not really gonna listen to what you've got to say. Like, pretty fucking tough to get through addiction, but okay. Don't know if this is the place to share this, but I've been on L-theanine for a week and it cured my anxiety. Literally, I was an alcoholic, a meth addict, and developed anxiety and panic attacks. I was taking L-theanine. I've stopped taking it. I didn't know if it was doing anything. Yeah, I'm glad it's helped with your anxiety and panic attacks. Yeah, so this is the place to share it, because let's be real, like, addiction recovery is often trying to soothe like being in fight or flight anxiety or PTSD. So thanks for that, user. Hi Guy, how you doing? Yeah, somebody, guys, saying if you want some support, comment on my videos or go to my website. I will say I've got a backlog of emails from last week to get through, but I will get back to everyone. And if anyone does need any support, it's free. It's just, if you're really struggling, like, do get in touch. My man saying congratulations on 4 years clean. I know, thank you. I appreciate that. The door's getting locked. Chris, what door? Morning, Guy, how you doing? Oh God, I'm tired. I couldn't sleep last night. Big up the Geordies. My Auntie Christine lives in North Shields. Thank you. I'll take that. I used to go to North Shields quite a lot. What do you call it? The Fish Quay. I used to go and walk my dogs there, or just go and sit there. I used to love just sitting by the ocean, especially in my early recovery days. Starving the body helps fight that antioxidant thing. You have to live a life in constant state of hunger, being the downside. Yeah, I mean, you can do it intermittent fasting where you do it for a bit and like you do it once every so many months as well, and that'll like trigger your stem cells to go around and start like getting rid of all malignant cells and basically help you rewire your body, well, your brain. It's really good for you. Or what I do is like a fast window. Christ, you should hear the Scots. Chris Johnson saying, I know, I love Scottish people, but probably because I don't know what they're saying. They're probably being absolute wankers to us, but I'm like, yeah, you sound fun. No, they are hard to understand Scots, but I do love them. They're a canny, hard to understand bunch. Right, I'm gonna go soon. My son's done tremendously letting us stay on for 45 minutes, so I'll answer a couple more questions and I'll go see what he's up to. Why so serious? I love that name. Drank for 17 years, decided to go cold turkey this month. I found out and literally just drink because I'm bored. People just need to be happy and all of your crutches disappear. Yeah, I mean, if I could sum up everything that I'm trying to say on this channel is, yeah, if you can, people just need to be happy and your crutches disappear. And like continuing an addiction isn't where you find your happiness. So we need to be proactive. And it's not just about happiness. I used to think that like happiness is the only goal. I think being content and peaceful is also the goal, and that involves a whole host of things. But in a nutshell, yeah, why so serious? I will say that if anyone's wanting to do what Why So Serious has done with cold turkey with alcohol, I do keep saying this, but I really want to be safe on this channel. Try like cold turkey off alcohol can be dangerous. It can be fatal. I know a lot of people have done it, but you can have seizures and die from it. So make sure you're doing it with a professional, or at the very least being very safe with it and researching the nines out of it. But yeah, it is. If your life is amazing and you feel really good about yourself, your life being amazing, it starts inside your head, because that's where you're living. Everything outside of your head is just a reflection of what's going on inside your head. So if you're loving life and then you've got an addiction, that starts to feel like actually that's no longer needed. Like the crutches disappear. Yeah. Chris, we're a misunderstood bunch. I think it's purely an accent though. I think he's just very straight talking. Like from what I can understand of yours, Chris. I like it though. I think a very straight talk.
Does he run away altogether? Or does he call his mum to come and go inside this creepy house to see if someone is in trouble?
It was a really good story.
It was a really, really good story. Wasn't it, Deborah Jo? Deborah Jo?
Okay, it was a great story. But I told Mrs. Gosher that we can just read a story out of assembly. Do you remember the last time you let someone read a story out at assembly?
Stretcher looked at Sultran in the eye, the middle eye, between his two other eyes. He knew the invaders were approaching, and he only had 10 minutes to make Sultran deactivate the thermoplasmatic shield.
Yes, well, that story shouldn't have gone on for 2 hours.
Canini Fafini.
Right.
Baby!
Story into a play.
Mom! Hey! Mrs. Gosher said I would need a couple of people to help me turn my story into a play. And she said, yeah, like I had a choice. Charlie, we're really excited to be working with Melanie. We came back the next day and have really great ideas for how to turn a story into a play. Melanie, I thought of this. John!
Mine's really good. So is mine. I worked on my idea for ages.
I worked on mine.
So if we think of like that's sad, that's being stressed, that's anxiety, that's shame, all these negative emotions. Now flip the script. If we think of it, and again, I know I'm really simplifying it, but if we understand the mechanics of it, we can start to use it in our power, like in our favor. So flip the script, happiness, that's cause something happens that makes us feel which makes us feel happy, and it's a trigger of emotions. So go and do things which make you happy. Also, switch up how you feel about things. Like, we don't have the power to control everything that's going on in our lives. We do have the power to decide how we're going to respond to it. So like, I've had a really fucking shit couple of weeks. I really have, and it's been undeniable. And I've had a lot of shit, like times where I've been upset and I've been crying and I've felt shit. But I've also know that if I just sit there and wallow in that and feel sorry for myself, like I've got bipolar, that's going to end up in full-on depression, which is going to end up as being suicidal. It's going to impact me parenting. Like, I'm going to fuck up my YouTube channel, which I'm trying to work hard at. Everything's just going to go to pot. So I can... Yes, I feel shit, I can't help that, but I can also create pockets of joy. I can also say really kind words to myself. I can also like sit there and regulate through the feeling shit, like feel it but not stay there. Like, we do have power. It's just, it's not as simple as saying today I'm going to do that. We'll have to practice it and create opportunities. Anyways, there was a weird glitch. Sorry, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's happened, but you have audio from my kid, not you. Oh my God, has he put it through the TV? Oh. I don't know. My son's clearly better at technology than me, and he's 4. Look, anyways, we're here. I've shown up today. That is all that we need to do. We just need to show up. Am I a Scouser? No, I'm a Geordie. I'm from Newcastle. From the north of England, I'll give you that. Yeah, I mean, my son's been off unwell. He's got diarrhea and sickness. So he's going to be off tomorrow. Might have another shoddy or ropey live on Wednesday, but I'll be back tonight and hopefully he'll be in bed asleep, although that has been a bit dodgy as well. So I'll see you tonight if you're available. If not, I'll see you on Wednesday at 10 a.m, tonight at 9 p.m. If anyone could give us a subscribe, that's really helpful for the channel to help get us to the right people who need us, and it's super free. But thanks everyone who's joined, and I hope you have a lush day. My man's saying, have a good rest of the day. Hope your son feels better soon. Oh, he's all right, you know. His nails, it's not ideal. I think he's enjoying being off school. He's a bit like his mum, he just cracks on. So he's all right. But yeah, I mean, I hope he gets better soon, because I'm sick of wiping up diarrhea and sick everywhere. I could do with him being at school as well, but... Anyways, I'll see you later. Thanks, KK, for saying your sub. And thanks for anybody else who's subbed. I can't say who's done it until after. So yeah, bye. Yeah, he is enjoying it. I mean, who doesn't love a good wag from school? Let's be real. He sometimes pretends he's ill so that he doesn't have to go to school. I'm like, not pulling that one on me, son. You used to be an addict. Like, you can't bullshit. Get your school uniform, Mum, we're going. Snowy's saying, how long have you been clean? 4 years tomorrow. So yeah. Anyways, I said I'm going to go. Bye.